CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to do a 1-hour total beginner scarf. Now of course that depends on how fast you are in crochet. It also depends on how long you make your scarf. So I'm going to show you everything about mine, and we're going to go through everything because this is a beginner video. It might be a little bit slower than if you would need it in your advanced crochet. So if you need to fast forward or anything, you can go ahead and do that. And you can also change your settings on YouTube to make the video either slower or faster. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the materials for this. For today, I'm using an 8mm hook. This is much bigger than any of the yarn that we're going to be using calls for. We are going to double our yarn a little bit. Okay, so for instance, I'm using a 4-weight variegated yarn. It's different than what I have for this because I ran out of all of these, but it is a variegated yarn. And then I'm going to add a weight 3 yarn to it. Now you don't have to do that. You can use both of your yarns weight 4. You could use both of your yarns weight 3, but you just want to double them in Subway and you want to use the bigger hook. Okay, the only other thing you're going to need is a pair of scissors and a darning needle, and that's it. Let me go ahead and show you a little bit about this. Now these rows are counted. They have single crochets in between them. This is the crisscross pattern. This is not my design. It's been around for years and years, but I'm just going to show you how to do the scarf that I came up with. So, but in the middle, there's single crochets, but if you want to count just the crisscross stitch, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in each one of these. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of those 6s. Okay, so, and then the 1 single crochet rows in between. I also did the tassels, and I'm going to show you how to do those as well. Okay, so that's how I did this, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. I would like to ask you real quick to please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell button below if you haven't already, so you can get notified of my future videos, and please share. That helps more than anything. So I've got 2 pieces of yarn here, and I'm going to go ahead and make a slip knot just like this. If you are totally new to crochet and you don't know how to do any of the stitches that we're working on, or a slip knot, things like that, I have a beginner crochet video in the description box below that can help you with all those things. Okay, so we've made a slip knot, and now we're going to do multiples of 2. So we're going to chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 19, and 20. Okay, so I've chained 20. And now we're going to work into the 5th chain from the hook. So counting this chain right here and counting all the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into that 5th chain, you're going to work a double crochet. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the 5th one, yarn over, go into your stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, and go through 2. Now when we did that, this created this double crochet here, and then you have a chain space in between these. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to go back and work into this previous stitch. So right here, in this stitch right here, you're going to yarn over and you're going to put another double crochet. And this is what creates that crisscross pattern. Just like that. Okay. Now you need to pay really close attention to where you put your last stitch, because it can look like you need to still work into here because of the way that we worked it, but actually this is coming out of here. So we need to skip this next stitch and go into the next one and put a double crochet. And then we will work into the one that we skipped right here, and we will put a double crochet there. Okay, and again we will skip our next stitch and go into the next. And when you work this like this, and then go back over here. This pulls this stitch over, and that's why it looks like you still need to work in there, but you need to make sure that you don't work into that, okay? And again, double crochet and work into the previous stitch. Okay, again, skip one and go into the next and put a double crochet, and then double crochet into the one that you skipped. And this does get easier after this first row. It's going to be easier to see. So again, this is the one we worked into, and we're going to skip the next one, go into the next, put a double crochet, and then work into the one that you skipped. And the reason why it's so easy to do this scarf so quickly is because you're using such a big hook and you're using these nice big stitches, okay? Skip a stitch, go into the next, then work a double crochet into the one before. Okay, and again, skip a stitch, go into the next. And then double crochet again in the one before. And so as you can see, we're working all double crochets in this, except for when we do our row of single crochet. Again, skip a stitch, go into the next, put a double crochet, and then double crochet into the previous stitch. You have one stitch left now, and you want to do one double crochet into that stitch. So you started with a double crochet and you're going to end with a double crochet. And that's what it looks like, just like that. Okay. Now you're going to chain one and turn your work. You're going to put a single crochet into your first stitch right under that chain one. And then you're going to single crochet in every stitch all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and don't forget you have this double crochet here that you need to work into as well. So try to get into the top of that. If you can't, just go right below the top and do one single crochet. That makes 18 going all the way across, okay? Very important that you don't forget that last one. Then we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before, okay? So we're going to skip this first stitch right here because this chain of 3 counts for over that stitch. Skip the next stitch right here and then go into the third one and put a double crochet. Then you're going to double crochet into the stitch right here that we skipped. Okay. Then you're going to skip your next stitch, go into the next, put a double crochet, and then you're going to double crochet into the one that we skipped. Again, skip your next stitch, go into the next, put a double crochet, and then double crochet in the stitch before that we skipped. And again, skip your next stitch, go into the next, put a double crochet, then double crochet into the one that we skipped. Skip your next stitch, go into the next, double crochet, put a double crochet in the one that we skipped. Skip your next stitch, go into the next, and as you can see, it's easier now to see these stitches now that we're on to our third row here. Skip a stitch, go into the next. Put a double crochet into the skip stitch. Skip a stitch, go into the next, put a double crochet, and then put a double crochet in the one we skipped. Then we have our last stitch and we're going to put a double crochet there. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Now you're going to chain one. So now you're into the repeat now. This is a 2-row repeat. So chain one, turn your work, and then you're going to single crochet again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then don't forget this first double crochet that we did, so you need to go in there and put a single crochet as well, and this will be our 18th one. This is the biggest thing I think that's easy to forget in this, is to forget to put one there, and it'll make everything go off kilter. So just try to remember that. Then you chain 3, turn your work, and then you just start all over again. So again, you would skip this first stitch, skip the second stitch, go into the third, because this chain of 3 counts as our first double crochet. So go into the third stitch, put a double crochet, and then go into this stitch right here that we skipped before this one to put our double crochet. And then again, skip a stitch, go into the next and put a double crochet, put a double crochet in the one that you skipped. And so you're just going to keep doing that over and over again for whatever length you like for your scarf, okay? So I'm going to come back in just a minute and I'm going to show you how to do the tassels for the end of the scarf, but I'm just going to use this little piece that I have here. I might do a couple more rows on it because I already finished my other big one and that would take forever to do on camera. So I'm just going to show you how to do the tassels on here. So I'll meet you back in just a minute once you get done making the scarf as long as you want. Okay, so yours will be obviously much longer than this. Okay, so when you get to the end here, we're going to, when you get to your end, you're going to cut off, leave enough to work in, and then you're simply going to chain 1 and pull tight to close. And then of course you will work in all of your ends. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute since this is a beginner video. But first I want to show you how to do the tassels, okay? So I'm taking the colors that I used for my scarf and I've got them already still together, and I'm going to pull out about 2 feet of yarn, and then I'm just simply going to fold it over like this, and then I'm going to fold it over going the back way and fold it over going again. So again, I'm just folding the yarn. I'm not cutting anything yet. I'm going to do that after I do this several times. Now I use about 5 to 6 pieces of yarn per tassel, and I try to put a tassel in most of the stitches on the bottom of the scarf. Okay, so you would just keep going till you got as many as you needed, and then I cut off the top like this and make sure that they're all cut. And then I go to the other side, trying to keep them together. And I do the same thing over here. Just like that. Okay. And then I lay these all out in front of me. And then I pick about 5 to 6 pieces and I pull them out just like this. Then I put them in half. I take my hook, I go into the first stitch here that I want to work into, pull in all the yarn here just like that. Then I take my fingers and I go in the middle and then I pull these strands through just like this. Okay, so let me show you again. Take about 5 to 6 strands, fold them in half, take my hook, go into my next stitch, pull the yarn through. I've created this loop here, put my fingers through and pull the rest through the loop, just like that. And that's all you do. And you just keep doing that all the way down. And I'll go ahead and do one more. I'll take this remaining bit that I have. I'm going to go into my next stitch, pull through, just like this. And then what I like to do is I like to take my old, not the one I use on my hair, but an older straightening iron. And it's an older straightening iron, so it doesn't get super hot. I want to say it gets up to like 350, 400 degrees. I do it at the max setting, but you might want to check on that if you decide to do this for yours, to get these tassels nice and straight. Sometimes your yarn can get very wavy, and so you want your tassel straight. So I use that straightening iron to do that. And then I just take my scissors after I do that and I cut these the length that I want for my project. And it would be just like this. Okay? And I like to keep them about that long as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That's really all there is to it. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you, since this is a beginner video, I do want to show you how to work in your ends. But I take, since I'm using 2 pieces of yarn, I'm going to work both pieces in. I'm going to cut the ends so they're exactly even and I can get them on to my darning needle. So use a bigger one. Pull those through, and then whatever side you're going to use for yours, whichever one you like best, use the back side of that and then just work this in. 3 times is the charm. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and so when you cut off your ends, always make sure that you leave enough to work in. Okay, that's really important. And then you cut off. So do that to any other pieces that you have, and you'll have a beautiful scarf, and it's done so very quickly. So if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask. You can ask below in the YouTube comment section. If you're not comfortable with that, you can find my Gmail, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my TikTok in the description box below. And by the way, come over there and join me there. We have a lot of good content on those social media sites as well. So I'll see you again soon for our great video. We're going to have some Christmas crochet videos coming up soon as well. So happy crocheting. Bye-bye.